guys, I'm checking out Synth Anthology 4 by UVI, and on the product page there's a lot of information. Of course, I'm not going to cover that right now, but just to note a few things. First of all, we have 200 different synthesizers sounds that they're sampled, and we have more than 4,000 presets and layers. Now they've rebuilt the engine, created layering options, there's more effects, and overall super fun instrument. So let's dive into this. You'll see that we have two layers, so we can load two instruments. Of course, let's try some of the presets first. Right, so let's break it down. Let's see what is in the box. So first of all, we have the two layers, and you can see that we also have A and B focus. So I can focus on sound A or sound B. And in the main page, of course, I see both of them, but in the middle, we have the crossfade, which is really cool. So let's have a quick listen and see what we can do with this crossfade. Right, and here we have this little knob, and I'm going to click and drag it all the way up, and now we'll play. Now I have two smaller controls below, so this will be the rate, and I can lock it to my BPM. Right, and this will be the invert modulation, and also we have different types, like I can go sine, triangle, square, sawtooth. So pretty cool, and it lets you create moving and evolving sounds. So I can go and just show you how the preset browser looks like. And from this, we can learn a lot. So on the top here, you'll see a quick access to different categories, right? I can go into bass and select something, and that's pretty nice. But I can also click this hamburger and save or load presets. But more than that, if we'll go inside, we'll see something interesting. So I'm going into the layer A right here, and now I can go into this browser, and now I have a specific selection for that layer, and everything is focused on sounds rather than the actual instrument. It's not like you have a list of instruments that you might know, or maybe you're not familiar with, but we are focused on sounds. You don't have all the controls. You don't have the actual emulation of that piece of hardware or instrument. And you have the categories. So I can go into ambient and select something, and you'll see the name of that piece of hardware. So ADR maybe, or anything else. We can just browse through those and select something. And I can go also into classic analog gear or modern analog gear and so on. So there's top categories on the left, and then I can go with keyboards. And I have also more options right here. And we can go into leads, and let's take this one. So now I can go back to the main page, and I can actually mute layer B. focus on one sound. You don't have to use both layers. Now, below right here, we have something very cool. So we have just sound options and suggestions. So I can just try some of them and they will be similar. They're going to be in the same category. And I can regenerate those. Right, and again, we can see the piece of hardware right here. This is Roland, and we have the preset, and there's also the year. Very, very nice. And so I can go again back and enable the second layer. Click here to enable. And now on the bottom, we have some more stuff. So we have tone, phase, crush, cloud, feedback, and we can turn them on and off as you wish. And we also have for each of the layers, by the way, we have the key ranges. So we can have layer A go all the way from C-2 to G8, but we can limit the second layer to different areas, like something like this, starting from C3 onwards. And let's do the same here. So what I can do is something like this. And now I have a split keyboard. Very nice stuff. Let's try some more presets. And again, I'm going into the top browser right here, and we can find some plaques. Let's have a listen. So now let's go a little bit deeper. If I go into layer A, we'll see that we have more things that we can use to shape the sound. So first of all, on the top left, we have the browser for that layer, and we saw that already. So you can see the different categories, select something, double click, and then we have the ADSR envelope and some other controls like the gain, panning, MIDI curve, and smooth filter. And you can use this to shape the sound, shape how it is evolving over time. And if you're not familiar with this concept of ADSR envelope, you can check my channel for more information or just get in touch with me. I'll send you the link. And ADSR stands for attack, decay, sustain, and release. So the attack is very simple. How fast the sound is going to get into its maximum velocity. So slower will be evolving slowly and opening up. Right, and the release will be how fast the sound decays or just disappears once you lift your fingers from the keyboard. Right, that's the idea. Then we have a filter, and for that filter, we have different modes right here. So we have a expander, we have a VCF20 and comb filter. And again, if you're not familiar with this, just leave it alone. You don't have to go into that, but experimenting is always fun. And then we have the type, so it can be low pass, high pass, and so on. And then we have the cutoff, and we have the drive, the Q right here, and then the envelope depth, and it's on envelope ADSR for that filter. And then we have the pitch and voicing, and we also have unison, which we can add more voices and detuning them. Right, so that is for each of the layers separately. So if I go into layer B, I'll get completely different set of settings here for that layer. And I can change this to, let's say, let's go with strings. Right. Now, on the bottom, we have some more stuff. These are the modulation options that we have. So we have two LFOs and two step sequencers right here to basically change. And well, these are instruments you can use to change things. So let me show you. So I can take LFO A and use it on the panning right here, and it's already set. So all you need to do is just hover on top of that yellow button and click and drag it all the way up, and now the sound will go left and right. Right, and we can go into LFO B and change the shape. That can be a sine wave. We have the frequency. It can be locked to our BPM. And some more stuff that you can use to shape that LFO. Now, the step right here is also very interesting. Let's close this. And here I can draw the steps. I can also set this to be bipolar if I like, and smoothing things out, inverting, and even clear. But we also have some presets, so I can use anything like that and set this to just bipolar or polar, whatever I like. And I can again close this and use the step sequencer to whatever I like. So I can use this, for example, on the filter cutoff. So I can set the filter cutoff right here. And the color coding is very easy. So I'm just going to hover on top here, step mode 1, dragging it all the way up. Right, so I'm opening and closing the filter with this step modulator. And so that is the basic idea behind all of those layer settings. But we also have a global sequencer, which is not enabled right now. I can enable it. And here again, we have presets, very easy to use. So I'm going to just find something like ramp up. And now I can just play a chord, for example. But let me show you a few arpeggiated presets as an example. So a few things about this arpeggiator. First, we have on the left, we have the different modes. So this is an arp. I can click this drop down and we have as played, up, down, or up and down. And we also have the range of octaves. We have the speed, it can be slower. And we have number of steps. I can just change that. And we have the number of octaves again here. Right? And there are some other things that you can do. So I can just change the panning, something like this. And then each step will have different panning settings. We have the octaves. I can change that right here. We have the pitch and we have the mode. So if I'll just click this drop down, we have basic, harmonized, chord. Let's go as played and see what, just how it sounds. And finally, we also have some effects, and we have the spark verb, we have a convolver, we have dual delay, and also feedback right here. And we can use the drive, equalizer, and maximizer to shape the sound even further. So let's have a quick go with that. So the spark verb is an algorithmic reverb, really like it. So we have the size right here, the decay amount, we have high and low right here, and the gain. The convolver will have different spaces. So we have acoustic spaces, hardware, spring and echo, sound design stuff, speakers, and so on. Let's try something here like large spaces, and I'm going to take cool long haul. So in conclusion, I actually really like this one. It's simple but very effective, very easy to use, very easy to design new sounds without going into much details. And even if you're not deep into synthesis and sound design, it's going to be very easy for you to get started with whatever preset and go from there. And I like the crossfade between the layers. That's always fun. And the effects are, well, we don't have a lot of effects, but that's fine because we can actually use the effects in the UVI workstation, or if you're using this in Falcon, then I guess the sky's the limit. So you don't need a lot in this particular library itself, or sound bank as UVI like to call them. So let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer. And you're welcome to like this video and also subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And I'll see you guys in the next videos. I'm gonna do a separate video just for checking out some of the sounds. So if you want to just listen without me talking and rumbling, then I'm gonna put a link to that video separately. See you soon. Bye-bye.